All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Wednesday night. I don't even know what night it is. I'm just a mess. Let's see. Um, Cinema layout, press Shift 8. I thought I would go. Can I do this? Image panel. Hmm. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but let me know if it looks too low. I am going to open up a different socials. I'm going to go, there's my email. That's what I was looking for. I got to share this out to everybody. Shooba-dooba-doo. Let's see how it looks here. Dooba-doo. Let's pause that. Well, okay, that doesn't look too bad if you make it full screen. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's got me like that. Let's see. Boop. That's that one. Let's go to this one and see if it's the normal. Yeah. Okay. And it's oh yeah, that's viewable. That'll work. All right, we got to share this out. So bear with me if you're in the stream. I'm gonna put this on Blue Sky because, well, you know. Thulhu, I believe is how they're spelled. Ah, stupid computer. I got to make sure I spell it right. Cohors, Chors, Cthulhu by Modiphius. All right, so we got that. Let's do that. Let's post that there on the old Blue Sky. Then we got to go over to Facebook. Facebook. You have to be on the Facebook. I don't know why I say it like that, but I do because I'm weird. I know I'm weird. I understand this. This is not a news flash, let me tell you. Boop. There we go. We're going to post this to a few places. Forward Observer. I think it's my buddy Brian's site. I don't know if Brian runs it or if he's just I'm not sure what it is, but RPG's in the house. There we go. We're just going to take a look. Dungeon Masters and Storytellers. This is a great site on Facebook. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I think it's pretty awesome. RPG Lovers is a really good one as well. These are all like generic, not specific to any certain platform as far as, let's see. I just want to see here. I wouldn't say it's minimalist, so we don't want to go there. Oh, we got to put it on Modiphius' site. Why not? I want to get this out there too, that this was sent to me for free by Modiphius. It was super awesome of them to do that for me. I was going to originally back this because while I say this all the time, but I own many Cthulhu games. I'm not a huge Cthulhu fan, but there's certain publishers that it's just an auto buy. Modiphius, if it's something Modiphius has done, it's pretty much an auto buy if I'm in a position where I can afford it. And it won't physically strap me. Now I'm on a anti Kickstarter kick right now, just because I'm so sick of the crap they do. But that being said, if it is something cool and I think the concept is awesome, then I'll go for it. And I really think that Modiphius, Chris Birch, and I think it's his girlfriend or his wife, Sophie, I believe is her name. I could be wrong, and if I am, please correct me. But this guy started selling, crap out of his garage and had a successful Kickstarter with, I believe his first game was Mutant Chronicles, and it did pretty well. I wasn't able to back the Kickstarter, but I did go in and buy a bunch of stuff afterwards. And Chris reached out to me. I did a video review of it. It was one of my early reviews. I think that's everything. Okay. Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to post it there. And then I want to also put it on MeWe. So Facebook, where's MeWe? There's MeWe. MeWe is picked up where G Plus left off. So if they keep changing it every 5 minutes though. Jeez. Groups. Well, let me post it to my site first. Do this. I'm sorry I'm not in the chat there. I'm getting this posted to all the socials because, these days you've got to do that now. I will say the upgrades that MeWe is making do look pretty cool. It's just getting a little chaotic. Hopefully it'll calm down and they'll get it all together. I say I'm not a Cthulhu fan, but yet I own 3 different collector's editions of Call of Cthulhu. I own Fantasy Age Cthulhu, basically from Green Ronin, and then I have. Let's see what else here. I'm a little distracted because I'm trying to. Okay, that's everything. I think that's all the social media hubbub. Let's go back to StreamYards. Chen, hello from Taiwan. Greetings, sir. I forgot what is the greeting in Taiwanese? I know it's, oh man, it's Taiwanese lady on the cruise when I was in the Bahamas last August. Yeah, it was August. She said it to me because I love Thai food. Or that's Thailand. This is Taiwan. Never mind. It's moot. Never mind. Anyway, greetings, sir. Hope everything is well in Taiwan. Taiwan. I'm an idiot. I apologize. Let's see. We got 4 people watching, man. If you're in the stream, please. Money is stupid. Okay, that's a really good name. Money is stupid. I love it. Greetings, Money is Stupid. And Chen, I think Chen's been on the stream before. I am not sure if you're part of my Discord. I believe you are. I can't remember. I think you lurk a lot, but I could be wrong. But let's see here. Let's go. Thank you. Yeah, is it? I can't see. It won't let me see your icon here on StreamYard. Can I be mad, please? Sure, be mad. I don't care. I'm Mr. Mean. I'm always mean. It's my superpower. I'm mean. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube's. Bear with me. I'm still getting all this social stuff squared away. I'm still learning this platform of StreamYard, but I gotta say, I am liking the StreamYard. It is pretty solid. All right, so I'm gonna do this link right there and copy it from one of my YouTube videos. If you're not on the Discord, and I'll spam this throughout the channel a couple times and put it on there. Oh, can I be a mod? I'm sorry. A mod on my Discord? Do you have another name that you go by? Are you on my Discord? Or are you talking about being a mod for StreamYard? Because I have no idea how to make you a mod. You gotta go. Okay, goodbye. It, it might be just a random person that popped in. Never mind. Yeah, I think you got the wrong channel. I don't know. Anyway, have a great night. We got 3 people on the stream. If you're in, I know Chen is one of them. If you're in the stream, pop in and say hi. Okay. Chen, I hope you're doing well, man. I'm assuming you're a man, woman, it, they, them, theirs. I don't know. I don't do any of those pronoun stuff. That's not my jam. I'm doing me, and I'm old, and I'm a grognard. So, uh, welcome to the stream. Oh, there's 2 people on it. Oh, you know what? I'm one of them. So, because I'm streaming over here. No, we just leave that off. Boop. All right. So in all fairness and for clarity and full disclosure, Modiphius did send this to me for free. They sent me the PDFs. I originally, as I was stating, what was it, 2 years ago, year and a half ago? I don't know how long ago it was. I was going to back this. I was going to back it at like $100 level or whatever, but I got COVID, my wife got COVID, and my son got really sick, and so there was just some steep hospital bills, and so I was able to catch this before it hit my bank account, and so I was able to cancel it. Well, Chris, I think I want to say Chris knows my YouTube channel. I know Lloyd does. Lloyd is the black guy. He's British. He's a fantastic GM. He's a lot of fun. I know Lloyd knows my channel, but anyway, Chris reached out to me through Kickstarter and was like, "Hey, is there a reason you decided to back out of the Kickstarter?" And I told him, I said, "Well, I'm not sure if you know, but I'm a YouTuber and I review all of your games that you do. I've been a huge fan since Mutant Chronicles. It's still my favorite version of Mutant Chronicles. So." Uh, I wanted to back this really bad, but unfortunately, I've had some, medical bills come up, and I just can't afford it. And so he said, "Well, I'm gonna have my media manager, which is Sophie, send you an email, and then she will, when the PDFs become available, she will send them to you." And true to his word, she did email me, Sophie May, and she emailed me and said, "Let me know what the email address is in your YouTube channel." And I sent her all that information, and it went on. And I'm wondering, let's see, I'm wondering if I can find the original email. September September 24th is roughly when the Kickstarter ended, and so I asked whenever the PDFs were going to be available or any scratch and dent copies. I prefer to review physical copies. That's my own greediness there. That's, we all have a touch of it. I prefer physical books over PDF copies, but obviously beggars can't be choosers. And it was very, very nice of Chris to reach out to me and figure out what was going on, and to be, I mean, this is the owner of the company. He could have easily said, "Hey, marketing people, reach out to this guy," or whatever, but he didn't. He took the time to email me. He's like, "I'm sorry about your medical issues and stuff. I hope everything clears up and gets better. I'll send you the PDFs." And I think he knows Mr. Mean is not a normal name, so it's been in a couple of the different Kickstarters and things that he's done. I backed Infinity at the all-in pledge. I got all the physical books for Infinity, or most of them, I believe. They came out with a couple more. Supposedly, there's going to be an update for Infinity, or there's more books coming out. I'm not quite sure. So I'm super excited for that. I've heard very little about it, but I did hear one of the Infinity YouTubers that knows the Corvus Belli guys, that make the Infinity the miniatures game. Evidently, they've been in talks with Modiphius to do some updates or some upgrades. Like I said, they did not expand upon it, but they did say that it's coming. There's some new stuff coming, possibly. So there's no guarantee, but let's hope there is, because I'm a huge fan of Infinity. It is kind of a crunchy game, but no more crunchier than Conan or Star Trek or Mutant Chronicles, just a different type of crunchy, if that makes sense. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this because I haven't really had a chance to look at it yet. And just because I've been busy with work and stuff, my hours changed at work, and I work ungodly hours because it's hurricane season. So I'm online at 5:30 in the morning, and I get off at 2:30 in the afternoon. So it's a long, long day. And then by 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I am literally falling asleep. So it makes it rough. But I got the PDFs, and I am halfway tempted. I think the next time I go to the source, if I see the physical books, I will buy them, because it's Modiphius and they make solid stuff. I did flip through these a little bit, so I know that it's, in the Roman time frame, with the I can't think of the name of them now. Before they were called Germans, what were they called? Not Celts. What were they called? Man, I'm having a brain fart. But before the Germanic horde, when they were all a bunch of heathens, and of course the Romans had Christianity and everything. Um, and this is the Roman Empire, you know. And the book is just, from what I've flipped through it so far. And I'm not gonna go through the whole book, but I am gonna go through a couple pages. I have the player's guide and the GM's guide. So if you've played Achtung Cthulhu, which is done very well, I might add. I don't have the GM book. I have the player's guide because I was playing in my friend's online game, but it just got too much for me. I have too much on my plate, and something had to give. And unfortunately, it was that game, much to my regret, because they played for, like, I think 2 years, and they had a blast. And my friend Brian kept me in the loop on what they were doing, and it sounded like a lot of fun. I had a really cool Louisiana voodoo priestess that I was playing. So she was French Creole, so she was black, and she could do voodoo magic, and it was pretty solid. I really liked the character, and her backstory was that she could trace her lineage back to Marie Laveau. That was it was just I made it all up, but it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the character. And magic in that game is hard, but man, if you get it to work, it's pretty dope. And we had a big combat where I basically fried, like, I think 3 stormtroopers brains, German, not Luftwaffers, but stormtroopers, soldiers. I just fried their brains, and they shut down. They just couldn't handle it. So it was really cool. So really fun game, and my friend Brian runs an amazing game. So anyway, so yeah, I wanted to kind of go through this. Hopefully you can see the screen okay. I have it up on my secondary screen. I think the layout of the book is amazing. The art is fantastic. As far as I know, there is no AI art in here. And you'll see this red and kind of beige cream color is accented throughout the book, and I think it's done very, very well. I should ask, though, is my audio? I think my audio is coming through okay, because I heard my video recording earlier. But Galtz, is it Galtz? No, it's not Galtz. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts until I know what the German. Before they were Germans, they were called something else in history. This does draw from history, but of course it's history of what if Cthulhu and magic was real, and the Romans are trying to keep it at bay. But then, of course, the society of Romans, with all their hedonism and everything, is, some of it's kind of bad. Coco B. Goths, Vandals. Was it Goths? I can't remember, dude. How you doing, man? Long time no hear. I hope you're doing well. Coco B and I have played in a couple games together. He's played in a couple of my games. I've played in a couple of his games. Uh, he's usually pretty quiet on the Discord, but he pops in every so often. Good to see you, man. Um, Vandals? Oh God, they had another name. Oh, wasn't I don't think it was Goths or Vandals. I'm looking in the table of contents here to see if I can see it. But this is standard Modiphius 2D20 system. It's okay, man. You're here, which is what matters. So thank you for popping in and saying hi. I think Chen popped off. He was in Thailand or Taiwan. Excuse me. God, I get those two confused. Um, I'm just trying to see if they say who the Germans were, what the Germans were called before they were Germans. They had a name. Uh, but anyway, it's gonna drive me nuts until I figure it out. But yeah, the presentation of this book is amazing. I don't know. Can I make this bigger? Improve spotlight layout. Nope, I guess not. All right. Oh, hopefully it looks okay. You guys let me know if it's not. Oh, I guess I should put it in my Discord that I'm streaming. That might be helpful. Um, I'm a jerk sometimes, man. I admit it. Um, I gotta go over to here and get this. Boop. Copy. And go back to StreamYards and then go to Discord. And I'll go on here. Book shows up well. Cool. Good to know, Coco. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful book. Like I was saying earlier, I had to back out of the Kickstarter and I kicked myself for it. But money's money and you got to spend it wisely. I am live on YouTube. I have to reassociate my StreamYard account with Facebook so that I can set it up to stream on Facebook as well. I really need to figure that out. I'm live on YouTube. What? There it is, and it's CTHULHU. I put two C's. Man, I can't spell worth of shit. By Modiphius. Alrighty. So there we go. It's on my Discord. So I'll put it on some other general gaming. Oh, wait, let's go back. Man, I'm telling you, I'm all over the place. I'm tired. Like I said, I've been up since about 4:30. So I'm a little beat. I am beat. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, there we go. Post this to a few different Discords that I'm on. General gaming. Yeah, there we go. Coco, everything else is good, man. I haven't heard from you in a while, so hope all is well. I don't have the Modiphius. I don't have the Modiphius Discord just because there's too many Discords. I can't stay in touch with all of them. Used to have some other channels. I'm on. Yep, all good. It's good to hear, man. I'm glad. And I know when people disappear sometimes, I always like to check in and make sure they're all good. I'm just looking here to see. Oh Promotion streams, events, etc. Well, it's not. I don't want to put it in there because it's not Troll Lords related. I'm a huge fan. For those that don't know, I'm a huge fan of Castles and Crusades. I'm actually one of their. I don't. I think they call it Endless Worlds. I'm one of their Endless World GMs, so I can run games at conventions, and then I get. Oh, here we go. Um, um, I'm gonna go and put it in here. There we go. I can run games at conventions. Yep, still working in gaming, man. That's all we can do, brother. Let me tell you, it never ends. I'm gonna go here. I have. Really nothing there. I just want to get this out there to a bunch of different people. Make sure it's out there. Yeah, I think that's good. That's all I'm going to go for. Um, so, yeah, we got our introduction. I think the player's handbook or the player's book is 232 pages, full color, black or stitch sewn. Like I said, I don't physically own the books, but I did get these for free from Modiphius. So, disclaimer there. And it's just gorgeous. Talks about how everything's aligning coming up. The art is phenomenal. Um, and of course, it gives you an introduction to Cohors Cthulhu, uh, alternative history in which Atlantis existed and was destroyed as part of the greater conflict between cosmic powers, but its legacy has endured and left countless ripples. It is a setting where magic is tangible, if perilous, and arising from a variety of sinister powers. The gods of myriad pantheons are at play in the world of Cohors Cthulhu, and some of them can even be called upon, if you dare. Many of these so called gods are but echoes of vast, ancient, and alien entities with terrifying agendas. Each struggling culture and civilization in Cohors Cthulhu is rife with cults to these deities, some benevolent and others more sinister, hoping to bend reality to their own ends, many in conflict with one another. Yet arising from each of these cultures are great heroes who are willing to risk death by confronting horrors to preserve what they value most. Characters controlled by players might, if they survive, become these epic heroes, wielding the artifacts of fallen civilizations and invoking the magic of unpredictable gods, forged by trauma, strife, and solemn oaths. They will become weapons pitted against the uncaring cosmos. Reaching such heights is necessary to have a hope of standing victorious against the monstrous creatures awaiting them. The Cohors Cthulhu setting is connected to the alternate reality depicted in Achtung Cthulhu, which is set many centuries later, though no previous knowledge or exposure to that game or its characters is required. It is quite possible for ambitious game masters to create chronicles with characters participating in sprawling epics across both time periods, or alternatively, to use Cohort Cthulhu's to create stories of the ancient ancestors of heroes from this later era. This is a topic we will also explore in Adventuring that bridge this gulf in time. The guide is designed to allow you to jump into character creation with minimal knowledge and experience. It provides all the tools necessary for you to create characters and gain a sense of the fundamental aspects of the world. Depending on the preferences of your game master, you might also be able to start a game without any previous preparation whatsoever, building your character as you go and filling in the details as they are needed. Do not be daunted by a lack of familiarity with the historical aspects of the setting. Cohors Cthulhu is intended as an approachable historical fantasy slash horror role-playing game that does not require prior knowledge. Certainly, if you have seen movies or shows, read books, or played games set in this era or featuring ancient Rome or neighboring cultures, This will be useful and make things easier to visualize, but we expect it will feel comfortable and familiar quite quickly to anyone who has ever explored other more fantastical games and settings, as so many classic fantasy tropes and concepts are rooted in aspects of this era and its legends. But by all means, feel free to add to your enjoyment by absorbing the diversity of compelling media featuring ancient Rome, Germania, Syria, Britannia, Egypt, and other areas from which your characters may hail. While we provide a small amount of setting information here as an adjunct to character creation, this is a bit cursory by design. The Cohors Cthulhu's Game Master Guide will include much more information on the secret aspects of the setting, including details of the hidden wars, various mythos influences. Additionally, from the outset, it has not been our goal to try to depict every minute detail of the Roman Empire, its history, and its features. Because Cohors Cthulhu is based on a historical area, a wealth of information is readily and freely available everywhere to fill in any gaps. Both player and game master should feel free to embrace the reality of this ancient period as much or as little as they desire. That is a really good introduction right there, because they're basically saying this is your game. Do with it what you will. Make it your own. If you don't know anything about ancient Rome or that era and time, you don't need to. The book is going to give you what you need, the bare minimum, and you roll with it and you have fun. I do like that I do give a call out to Achtung Cthulhu, because I think that's pretty cool, because some of the adventures and stuff in Achtung Cthulhu take place in Egypt and Britain, and France and everything during I think it's World War One, World War Two, on the cusp of World War Two, and during the World War II timeframe. So I think that's really cool that you could do throwbacks. You could even have flashbacks, to your ancient Egyptian relatives, or Britannia or whatever, knights, and so on and so forth. So I think it's pretty cool. I love the Roman era, Germania, and the troops, and the horde, basically. Germania. So it's called Germania. We know that, but what were the people called? That's what I want to know. And it's just not, I'm probably going to see it the moment I end this stream. But it is the 2D20 system. So if you don't know what that is, I do have a video in the archives. Go down in the doobly-doo there and look for my video on the 2D20 system, where I talk about threat and everything, because it's called different things. And Mutant Chronicles, it's called Dark Symmetry, and Conan, it's called Threat. I believe it's called Threat in the other games as well. I'm not sure if Star Trek has a different name for it, but they have a number of games using the 2D20 system, or the 2D20 Lite system. I am not a fan of the 2D20 Lite system. They did away with a bunch of skills and stuff, and I think it lost a certain amount of crunch that I particularly liked in 2D20. And I was spoiled by Mutant Chronicles, because that was their first 2D20 game, and I think it was done very well. And then, of course, they came out with Infinity, which refined it even more, and they cleaned up some of the rules and made it a little clearer. So all in all, 2D20 for me is a great system. There's a lot of people that don't like it, though. I run into quite a few people on my Discord that don't like the system, or they say they've tried it with their players and they don't like it. I like it. I mean, I like chucking a bunch of dice, especially D20s. You can roll up to 5 D20s on an attack or a skill test. It's an easy system. It is somewhat complex to master, but once you get the idea of spending threat in this currency, and this is nothing new. I mean, Daggerheart calls out Modiphius in their acknowledgments page, because the whole thing with threat, with fear and hope, is they got that directly from Modiphius. There's no doubt about it. So players have momentum, and they when they get more successes than what they need, they garner momentum. And some games will have a group pool, some games only do a personal pool. It just depends on the game and theme and the feeling that they're going to for that game. The GM gets threat or dark symmetry or doom. It's called doom in Conan, but it's the same thing across all the games. It is a currency the GM uses to enhance the storytelling and make it more eventful. In other words, the GM can invoke the terrain. The GM can make more bad guys show up, and the players give the GM threat by buying extra dice or by getting complications. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds of the mechanic, but it is a good game, and if you give it a shot, and if your players are open, uh, you might find that you found a new system, and it is kind of it is thick with flavor, in my opinion, because the dice tell a story. And if we let the dice tell the story, it can sometimes tell a really amazing story, especially if you're open to failing sometimes or failing forward. Complications can do that. So it's a really cool system. I like it. So, but they give you a little uh, synopsis here of what the 2d20 is, where you get threat uh, and all that fun stuff and complications. Critical failure is if you roll a 20, so rolling low is good. Typically, your skills will have a threshold like a 12, a 13, a 14 is around average. And so when you roll a d20, you'll roll X amount of, you always roll 2d20. Challenge dice included. Yeah, thanks, Jason. Glad you're here, sir. Jason is the brains behind Earl of Fife games, and another one of my favorite games that uses D10s, Heroes and Hardships. And he's done a Mothership adventure, which is really good if you haven't checked that out. And I think he's kickstarting, or it's already successfully kickstarted, the Dragonbane adventure, which is I don't know if I got an early copy, Jason. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I will tell you the Dragonbane adventure is dope as hell. So anyway, Jane, thanks for popping in, Jason. Glad to have you here, sir. The complications, TTBS is in the house. I do monoliths, Conan. No, I do not. I have Modiphius's monolith, and I do have the board game. It's actually sitting right down here behind my Doritos. I had the King's Pledge for the board game. Been a while. Yeah, it has been a while, sir. I hope you're doing well. I don't have the monolith copy. If you know anybody over at Monolith and they want to send me a review copy, I would be happy to look at it. For me, the Modiphius Conan is pretty solid. I mean, I don't need another version of Conan. I'd be happy to review it if they want to send it to me. But the Modiphius version for me is solid. Just gonna. That's a name. Just gonna do what? Hi, boy. Boy. Give you a quick review of the board game. The original Conan the board game is out. Give me a second. I don't have my mic on me because it's charging. So, oh God. That's box one, and there's another box just as big, fully loaded. I will tell you, it is glorious. When the rules came out, they sucked. It was so hard to figure out how to play this game, but that is typical for no, the RPG is not out yet, Jason. It is a beast, TTBS, and like I said, there's a second box chock full of miniatures and stuff. There is they did as an add-on for the Kickstarter, and I don't remember. If I remember correctly, Monolith reached out to us, the big people that backed the first Conan, but I think this was like 2019, 2017, something around there. They reached out to us and said, if you backed it for like $20, you could buy a hardback of the rule book. And I did. I got the rule book. and it is totally worth it. And I think you can buy it off of their website. And if you hold on one second, I know exactly where it's. You can go on the Monolith website, and you can I think you can buy this as a PDF. The art in here is fantastic. But there's new adventures in here. There's a little bit of rules clarity, but they did redo the rule book as a PDF, the rules pamphlet as a PDF, and you can download that. And there's even rules for solo play. So, of course, on eBay or whatever, you may be able to find a relatively cheap copy of the original Conan board game, and it is very good. It does play well once you figure out the rules. It is a lot of fun with the tokens and figuring out all your stress and everything. Um, I don't have anybody to play it with, although there is solo rules. I just haven't had a chance to look at them. But anyway, so yes, it is good. I did look at the preview of Monolith's RPG, and I did not particularly care for it. It was just a preview. I don't remember what I didn't like about it. I can't remember if it was a D20 system or if it was a D6 system. I don't remember. I think it was a D20, but I'm not sure. But yeah, and I'm sure the art's beautiful in it. You know, they got all the Franzetta and every Brahm, I think, and they got a bunch of cool artists to do stuff for the Conan board game. And of course, it was approved by Robert E. Howard's estate. Uh, and you know, Modiphius did the RPG, but then they lost the license. And I don't know why they lost the license. I think the licensing period had just ended, and so they were done. Yeah, that's what it is. Thanks, TTBS. It is. I remember that's, and I just thought that the D20 with aspects of Powered by the Apocalypse just didn't work for me. But again, I didn't play test it. I just read it, and sometimes, for me, I have to play a game to learn it. Like Heroes and Hardships. I'll be honest. When I read it, I was like, I mean, I love the concept of roll and keep, but until I made a character and I played it, that's when I found the value in the system and I really enjoyed it. And it is a really good system. In fact, I got to get Jason. The problem is we're on two different time schedules, so Jason we can never play together, uh, just because I'm in bed by 8 o'clock. And I'm only running two games. I have a Saturday night game and I have a Wednesday night online game. And I'll tell you, man, Thursday morning I am hating life, and it is a biweekly game, so there's no game tonight. And I'm hurting right now. I'm tired. I was falling asleep at 4:30. So, but I wasn't hungry. Yeah, you do have to play. I was not a fan of Dungeon World, Powered by the Apocalypse. I read a couple of the games. I had an early superhero game. I don't remember what it was called. It was one of the first, non-fantasy Powered by the Apocalypse games, and I read it and I got it, and I was just like, this is stupid. This is bleh. And then I watched a couple of live plays of Dungeon World, because at the time Dungeon World was all the rage. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's the greatest game ever made." And I was like, I got a copy of the rule book, and I was like, no, it's not. It's a D6 system. First of all, I'm not a huge fan of D6 systems. I'm really not a fan of just rolling 2D6. That's just like, there's so many dice out there. Why are you going to limit yourself to just 2D6? But then I got to play in a game and I really, really enjoyed it. And then I ran a game and I was like, this is so easy to run, and it really allows you to just go right off the top of your head. And yeah, you can say yes. You can fail forward in that game if you roll a 6 or less. Well, no, you didn't do it, but you can still give them a positive outcome. They may not get what they want, or they may fail with a complication, and you can make it more interesting. Or you can let them fail forward, like they don't get anything that they wanted, but you give them something else. 7 through 9. What is it? 7 through 10 is a success. but with a complication. And I think 11 and 12 is a crazy, or 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, 9 is a success with a complication, and then 10, 11, 12 is a critical success. They get everything they want for. Just games. I'm not sure who you are, but thank you. I'll take I'll take every compliment I can get at my age. Dungeon World is supposedly coming out with a 2E. Jason, I would be down for that because, well, it depends on how they come out with it. The first edition book was a little thin on a lot of like setting. There was really no setting. It was all kind of left up to you. It was all the playbooks and everything in it. And it was very cool. Apocalypse World has see, I didn't even know. I really wasn't into Apocalypse World at all. It didn't do anything for me. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if they do Dungeon World well. I'd love to see a nice hardback in that same digest size, but a nice hardback. That would be kind of cool. And I'd love to see a nice GM screen. I'm a grognard. I like GM screens. I know some people don't. They want to roll in the open, and that's fine. I think you can still roll in the open. I run my Daggerheart game with a GM screen, but I make a lot of rolls in the open just to give the players a hard time. So, but yeah. So anyway, Cohors Cthulhu. If anybody knows what the Germans were called, they weren't Galts. They what were the Germans? I know the area was Germania. It wasn't called German. It was called Germania. But what were the tribes of Germany called? I can't remember their name. We got some other people here watching. So so if anyone can what's this? I feel same about if I could find a DM who runs it, but it didn't grab me enough to DM it myself. Great source books to use with Mongooses Conan though. Yes. Krauts. No, Krauts is a derogatory term. Gauls, Teutons, it may Gaul. I think it is the Gauls because Galt is not the Germanian tribes. So it might be Gauls. You might be right, Jason. Someone Google it real quick. Damn it. We have the internet at our hands and we're all at our computers. So I'm running a stream right now. I can't Google. I could Google it, but I distract too easy. And then next thing you know, I'll be looking at otters breaking over clams on. Anyway, Gauls were French. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I Coco is right. Teutons? I don't think it was Teutons. And see, I told you it's going to drive me absolutely batty. Um, uh, but anyway, we're talking Modiphius's 2D20 and the Cohors Cthulhu. Let's ask, what were the Roman era Germans called? Let's see. Gauls. They tribes themselves. Their name Germani was a self-identification used as themselves designated imposed by the Romans, possibly borrowed from the Gauls. So it was Germania. Yeah, they had a nickname though. So yeah. And then of course now you go down the. I wanted to know what their name. Goths. It was Goths. I think Coco said Goths earlier, so it was Goths. Yep, ancient Germans, Germania. Yep. All right. Well, there we go. We have our answer. Vandals is kind of a slang term. Barbarians, very much true. Yes. Yeah, Germani was what the Romans called them. They called themselves. I closed the page now. I already forgot it. The French were the Celts. Yes. Well, uh, no, French weren't Celts. That was your Scottish and Irish, wasn't it? Anyway, we're getting off topic. Uh, we're looking at the player's guide for Cohors Cthulhu that was sent to me very kindly by Sophie May of the Modiphius Press. Um, and was kindly sent to me for free for review. So I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit tonight and go online and chat with the meanies out there. And it's good to see everybody. I haven't seen Coco in a while. TTBS hasn't been on in a while. And of course, Jason is always on the Discords with me. So yeah, so a lot of the player's book is just that. It is a player's book. It is lavishly illustrated. I think the art really sets the tone for this game. And it's kind of coming from the point of view of the Romans, but it's the whole, that era and time. Yes, we need to all get back, break out those chits, TTBS. Uh, we can get back to playing Command and Conquer, the board game, or what was it? Risk, not Risk, but it was chits, and you had the world globe. Was it Diplomacy? I think Diplomacy was one of them. Anyway, again, see, I'm a squirrel, shiny. Um, Documents of the Hidden Wars, of course. So there's a lot of what they were talking about in the preface was you don't need to know the history, you don't need to know everything about the Roman era because this is a fantasy version. It's an alternative timeline. So Atlantis was destroyed, but it was destroyed by gods basically, and the warring and everything that happened there. So excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. So yeah, there's a lot of like parchment, and this is all just prep stuff. This is reading. Then we get into the mechanics of the game: scene, session, adventures, and campaigns, dice, skill test, momentum, truths and complications, fortune and omens, and threats. And that's what I was talking about before. So yeah, really they came out with their own set of dice. So damage in the game, one of the quirky parts of this is that damage is on a d6, and you're going to roll a number of d6 based on um, what the weapon's damage is. It's code. So like it might be 2d6 or 3d6, 4d6, and then when you have momentum, when you get more successes than what you needed, you can turn that momentum. And momentum, again, is the player currency, threat is the GM currency. So players can spend that momentum to add more damage dice. And then the dice are usually numbered 1 and 2, 1 point, 2 points of damage, 3 and 4 are blank, and then 5 and 6 are crits. Or they not necessarily a crit because the dice, the d20 determines crits or not. The 5 and 6 uh, dictate whether or not any of the weapons talents or special features kick in, like vicious, armor piercing, bleeding, all those kind of things. And they go through it here with the challenge die. Yeah, so their damage dice in this case are called challenge dice, and they are d6s, and they have the symbol on it, the Cohors Cthulhu symbol. A roll of one and also trigger. Okay, so in this case, it's different from all their other games. A one triggers your special effects, like additional stress, depending on the circumstances of the roll. If multiple special rules trigger when an effect is rolled, then all of them trigger, even if one single effect is rolled. Oh, okay, that's cool. So if there's multiple triggers on a weapon or a situation, and you roll a one on your challenge dice, they all kick off. That can be brutal. I did hear that this game was a little more, I don't want to say violent, but a little more darker than most of their other games. A pool of challenge dice is rolled all at once, and the dice results are added together. The total is the amount of stress inflicted. Multiple challenge dice are noted as X, where X is the number of dice rolled. So 4 die indicates that 4 challenge dice should be rolled and their results are added together. Yeah. So, and then you can see here 1 and 2, 3 is nothing, 4 is nothing, 5 and 6. Oh, so see, that's confusing because they say right here a roll of 1 also triggers the effects like additional stress. But then on the chart, they're showing the D6, the 5 and the 6 on a D6 is 1 stress plus the trigger damage trigger effect, damage effect. So yeah, that's a little confusing right there. If you're just reading this and you didn't look at this chart, it would almost be assumed that when you roll a 1, that would be this icon, which is the Cohors symbol. You get rerolls in the game and stuff like that. You have talents or whatever that will allow you to, or special talents for like combat. You can be brutal, I think, is one of them. You can be a melee specialist or whatever, and maybe certain weapons will have a talent that will allow you to pick up dice. So if you roll, you're allowed to pick up 1 or sometimes all of your damage dice and re-roll depending on what you want to do. So there's all kinds of different, and that can also be talents that will affect the D20. So it's pretty cool. And remember, rolling low on the D20 is what you want. So a 1 or 2 is typically, depending on your threshold for your skill, your specialization, is a 1, 2, or 3. I think it's up to a 4 can be a critical success. Let's see, a focus. Yeah, it's called focus in 2D20 games. So if your focus is a 1, 2, or 3, or whatever it is for this game, I know in Mutant Chronicles it can be up to a 3. Um, so you'll have your skill rating, which could be like I said, 10, 11, 12, 7, 8, 9. I've seen them as low as 7 or 8 or 9, up to as high as I think 15 is as high as you can go on a D20. But that's you putting a lot of points and or experience into getting that skill up to that level. But when you roll that number equal to or less than on a D20, that counts as 1 success. If you roll typically a 1, maybe a 2, it depends. Let's see. If you roll a 1 or a 2, then it usually counts as 2 successes. But it depends. This game may be different. I'm trying to see if it says otherwise. Okay, so there's extended test, but they don't say anything about rolling a 1. So maybe it does. Maybe you don't have critical successes, or it may be later on the rules that we get to that. Uh, Resolving extended tests, breakthroughs. Breakthroughs are cool. That's an extended test, so you got to get X amount of successes. Uh, Spending momentum, like I said, you can buy D20s, you can get confidence, you can create a truth, you can obtain information, you can reduce the time. So all these are all things that they've garnered over time with all of the other games, and they've added them. Because like Mutant Chronicles was the first 2D20 game, and you didn't have too many options for momentum. There were several, but they've since over the years with all their other 2D20 games, they've come out with others. So that's really cool. Other uses for momentum. Uh, Kid trying to steal a helmet. Bonus momentum, saving momentum. And yeah, this is momentum is fleeting, right? Because it's momentum. It eventually is going to run out of momentum. And so most of the Modiphius games, when the scene ends, you remove 1 momentum from the general pool. So it looks like that is the same here. And any player in the group can use that momentum when they roll. And again, you can use momentum to dictate a truth, buy extra D20s, do extra damage, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's the same in this game. At the end of a scene, you remove 1 point of momentum from the group's momentum pool. Yeah, it does. It has to be maintained. It doesn't last forever. And that's the thing. You don't start with momentum. The GM starts with a certain amount of threat, or it's called threat in this game as well, or fear or doom, depending on or dark symmetry, whatever game you're playing. Yes, it's very, very much influenced by the Dark Eye. The Dark Eye, for those that don't know, Das Schwag is a German role-playing game that is analogous to Dungeons and Dragons. So a long time ago, back in the day, the community, the Germanian Germans reached out to Wizards of the Coast and said, "Hey, we'd like Dungeons and Dragons in German." And Wizards of the well, it wasn't Wizards, it was TSR. TSR said, "Get bent." They didn't have any desire to print the game in German. And it was at that weird time in the early 80s that they were like, we don't know what's going on with our own company. So they told them to get bent. And so the enterprising minds behind that would later become uh, the I can't remember the original company's name, but the company that produced the Dark Eye came up with their own mechanic, and it's a 3D 20 game, and you have three different attributes that you put together, and you form a dice pool of 3D 20, and you roll those dice, and you're looking for successes on those. It was engineered. Yeah. Yeah, it was engineered because yeah, they wanted D&D, but TSR wouldn't commit to printing in German, and so, and I think it's just they didn't have the resources. I don't know. I was a wee lad back then. I was what it was about 1980, 1986. I went into the military in 85. German engineering. Yeah, gotta love those krauts, which I am one. So yeah, if you've never played Das Schwag, I highly recommend it. It is a very good game. Here in America, it is here in America. I'm sorry, I forget I don't have my mic on because it's charging. In America, it's called The Dark Eye, and I have a review. I have all of the books for this. It is a great game, very in-depth character creation, and it is one of my all-time favorite games. And I have the big hardback book, and then of course I have this that they put several of the books in this digest size. And funny enough, the print is easy enough to read, even though I'm not wearing my cheaters, so I can read it. I do have my contacts in, but yeah, so super cool game. If you've never checked it out, go check out my review of it back in the archives, and then check it out. They also have a card game and many novels and many computer games as well, and some of them are really good. The card game is actually pretty cool. I do not own it, but I have played it. So yeah, I highly recommend The Dark Eye. It is currently in production by Ulysses Spiel, which is a German-based company, but they do have a presence here in the U.S. They are also Ulysses Spiel is the guys behind Torg 2.0, or the Eternity Wars. Torg Eternity. Take care, Coco B. Thank you so much for popping in, and have fun, man. Don't work too hard. So anyway, getting back to Cohors Cthulhu, uh, we're down to two people in the live stream again. So it looks like everybody jumped off. But truths and complications is exactly what it sounds like. When you roll the dice, you can the GM can spend threat, or you can spend momentum to invoke truths or complications. Complications are what the GM does. It's super dark outside. There's more guards than you expected. Truths are like, I remembered to wear my padded boots before I came in here. Size 12 font is discriminatory. Yes, it is. But I will say, in here, it's readable now. I'm fortunate enough to have, believe it or not, they're called bifocal contacts. Um, so yeah, and we're down to one person. So I'm assuming that's TTBS is in the chat. I don't know if that is really. Oh, maybe I'm the only person in the chat. um, and if I close that, we're back up to 3. I just closed out my window, so I'm not quite sure where we go. Success at a cost, so typical. No, I'm here. Thanks, TTBS. So your complications, complication table is when the players are making opposed rolls or making a roll to see if they can do something. It's how many dice. You can never roll more than 5 dice. You'll never roll less than one die, but you typically will always roll two dice in a standard 2d20 game. You may have penalties that let you only count one die, but that's very, very rare. Uh, we're talking about Cohors Cthulhu by Modiphius. I was sent a review copy of the PDFs, and so I wanted to get online and talk about them before I fade out and go to bed in about 12 minutes. So I just wanted to go through the player's guide. I don't think I'm going to get to the GM's guide tonight, but this is basically Roman, the Holy Roman Empire and Cthulhu meet, and it doesn't go as well as it goes about as well as you think it would go. Atlantis was real and it was sunk due to the gods, the various Cthulian gods. So if you're a fan of Lovecraft Cthulhu, then you'll probably like this. If you've played Octum Cthulhu by Modiphius, you'll probably like this. It's very similar. Of course, Octum Cthulhu is World War II. This is Roman era. So, yeah, and the book is. I mean, look, you got things with tentacles and stuff coming out and being corrupted. It's just awesome. And you can play Germanian, you can play Galts, you can play Egyptians, you can play Romans. The nice part of the game is it gives you a reason and helps the GM bring all those people together for an adventure. And there, I believe, in the GM's guide, let's jump over real quick and look. I think there's an adventure. I can't remember. Laid out really well. Again, the art is fantastic in this book. And maybe there's not an adventure, but there is adversaries and allies. Plot. Oh, there's a plot generator. So there is no adventure per se, but there is a plot generator. So you can definitely whip that up. Let's see what page 250 looks like. All right. So remember, PDF copies are always off by a page or two. So, look at that art, man. Oh my God, what is that crab? Oh, that's not good looking. Appendices. There's your opening scene. You're in. So you can make a couple random rolls, or as a GM, you can of course pick and choose, and hooks and draws, plot concept and motivation, primary antagonist, plot fulfillment and location, obstacles and twist, and the theme and the goals and the object. You can this is random charts to make a whole adventure. I'm going to disagree with you there, TTBS, because if you've got a library even partially as big as mine, you've probably got enough books that you could pull an adventure. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just change the monsters. If you're doing a D&D adventure, you just take the plot of the adventure and change the monsters, and the names to fit appropriately. And instead of Geralt, it's Maximilian. If instead of a giant crab, it's Migo. I mean, you can. It's not hard. At least not for me. Maybe maybe that worked. Maybe that doesn't work for everybody. But for me, this is going to give me an adventure right here. A couple of random rolls. Oh man, I love random charts. That's what I loved about Mutant Chronicles, the original, the second edition, and the Mutant Chronicles from Modiphius was the random charts in it. It was so cool because you had some crazy characters. So yeah, that's all kinds of locations, cohort specializations. I mean, this is just full cult generation, so you can come up with your bat guys. And remember, cults don't have to necessarily be evil. They can be good as well. They're just called a cult because they're not the mainline religion, and I think that was the whole point of this time frame. So, but they're all out for their own reasons, right? Background characters, interesting quirks. This is all good stuff, man. This is all in a fully indexed uh, book, and I don't. Are they? Oh, it's not. it's not hyperlinked, which that sucks. But so yeah, I mean, cults can be confused. Yes, they can. And a lot of times cults start for good reason and then become corrupted with power. So, they can that's there's your adventure right there. You got a member of the cult and he sees that it's going down a dark way, and then, they're slowly the primarch or the cult leader gets corrupted by some otherworldly influence, and it's up to you and your friends to take him out or set him straight or get him back on the path or figure out what's going on and remove the influence or whatever. So, eh, there's your adventure right there. Uh, physical damage and threat cost. This is a little bit of the GM side, but it's giving the players a look at it so that they can understand what's going on. It's just really well done. The art is amazing. Your action order, your initiative, you keep the initiative, which is one of the things I like about Modiphius. We don't have to roll initiative every single turn. It gets really old. In fact, in most of the games I play, I don't re-roll initiative every turn. Initiative stays the same for the combat. Uh, Dual wielding, woo, yeah, because obviously conflict and combat is going to be an issue in this game. You're fighting Cthulhu. There's a there's a Gaul right there. Uh, he looks a little bit on the berserker side. Reactions, retaliate, brace. So there's a bunch of so the mechanics are a little bit on the crunchy side for a 2D20 game. But again, you don't have to use them all. You can bring them in as you get more familiar with the mechanics. But I everyone I've taught any 2D20 game to, they've picked it up really quick. I don't think it's a terribly difficult game. Conan has a great mechanic where if you have like a pole arm or a spear, a long spear, you go first in the initial round of combat. But once you're past the initial round of combat, then you're fucked because a pole arm isn't as good in close combat as a dagger or a short sword. It's got Izzy is in the chat. It's got some nice crunch, but not overwhelming. Totally subjective opinion, of course. Yep. Well, peace and hair grease. Thank you, TTBS. And yeah, go pick it up, dude. I think if you like Roman era, if you like Cthulhu, it's two tastes great that taste great together. So I think you'll enjoy it. I'm sold on it. Like I said, the next time I go to the cities, I'll be picking these up in hardback because I'm pretty sure the Source, which is the local big game store in Minneapolis, will have a copy. So I'll definitely going to pick them up because it's on my buy list. I have every other 2D20 game, so why not have this one? So, A and B, I like Roman era. I like the Gauls, um, and Egyptian. I think Egyptian stuff is cool too. So you can scratch all those itches with this game. So enjoy your TV time. Brian, I totally agree with you. I think it is good crunch. I didn't think you weren't here earlier unless you were just lurking, but I think you're. They give a shout out to Octoon Cthulhu saying how you can ancestors if you wanted to, but it's not needed. You don't have to buy it. Yes, and oh, that's another great point. Thank you, Brian, for those that watch this later on the YouTubes. If you buy a physical copy of the book from your favorite local game store, and I do believe, if I remember, I talked with Lloyd about this at Modiphius. It has to be a game store. It can't be Amazon. It can't be Miniature Market or Game Geeks. It has to be a brick and mortar game store, or even Borders or Barnes and Nobles. I know Barnes and Nobles is out. I don't think Borders is around anymore. But if it's a certified bookstore, you can take a picture of your receipt, email it to them, and they will send you the PDFs. So yeah, yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Brian. I don't have the Game Master's Guide for Octoon Cthulhu just because I wasn't interested in running World War II era thing, but I do have the Player's Guide thanks to you. I bought it because I was in your game, and I thoroughly enjoyed my Marie Laveau inspired Houdon. Uh, I don't remember her name. I know I think she had a French name. I don't remember her name. I have the character sheet somewhere, But yeah, that was a fun game. I was telling them earlier about how I did. I remember doing one big magic spell where I pretty much melted all the bad guys' brains and knocked them all out, and then we were able to tie them up. And but it took it stressed me. I was hurting after that, but man, it was cool. And the dice were in my favor that night. But I took a lot of stress from that, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I'm going to tell you guys, I think this is a buy. Yeah, I heard good things about the scenario, Brian. I wish I would have stayed and played, but it was just getting too late for me. And with my new work schedule, I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. So by 8 o'clock, I am toast. And I make bad decisions. So I didn't want to keep doing that. So I do regret dropping out of the game though, because you guys played for quite a while, and I was very excited for that. But this is a buy. I'm gonna start to wrap up here. It's getting late. It is almost 7 o'clock my time. I'm gonna go spend some TV time with the family, like TTBS did. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me. This is definitely a buy. I'm gonna do. I think when I get the physical books, I'll do a physical review. But more Mountain Dew. Yeah, well, I don't drink Mountain Dew anymore. I drink Mountain Dew Kickstart, and now I drink water. I drink a lot of water and coffee. I still have my coffee in the morning. One cup a day, whether I need it or not. But guys, if you're on the fence on this, I say jump the fence and buy it. I think the book is beautiful. The theme is very concise. It's carried throughout, and I have no doubt the physical book is going to be gorgeous. Uh, the PDF is amazing. I mean, the art is really well done. Uh, yeah, and Brian has the books. Did you back it on Kickstarter or did you just buy them at your local game store? I think you bought them at the local game store, but I don't remember. So yeah, Brian is a connoisseur of game books like I, and if he says they're quality books, they are definitely quality books. So yeah, the players. If you're going to be the player, all you need is the player's book. If you're going to be the GM, you need the GM book. You don't necessarily have to buy both. I'm a completionist, so I'll buy both. Yeah, so you bought them direct when they opened them up for the orders. Yeah, so I think they're in the local game stores now. At least I hope they are. I know you can order them directly from Modiphius, and they always do a pretty good Black Friday sale and a Christmas and a New Year's sale. So I may just pick them up that way and save a couple of bucks. I also have, because I've run official demos for them for Mutant Chronicles and Conan, I have a couple points in their loyalty program for GMs, and so I can turn those points in and if nothing else, I'll get free shipping. So this is a buy in my book, guys. I highly recommend this. I think you'll enjoy these if you're into Roman era and Egypt, that kind of thing, and you're into Cthulhu or otherworldly horrors. It doesn't even have to necessarily be Cthulhu. The monsters in here can just be monsters, and you can do it as a fantasy. You don't have to even touch upon the Cthulhu if you don't want to. This is a good game. The 2D20 mechanic is a good system. And I think I think they knocked it out of the park. I'm really happy with my PDF. And like I said, I did get this for free, but it's made me want to go out and buy. I mean, look at that! Come on, that's just awesome. Creepy as hell, no doubt, but awesome. And you can do spell casting in here, and if it runs anything like it does in Achtung Cthulhu, it's no joke. Magic is powerful, but it has a definite cost and a toll on your character. But it is so worth it if it works. So uh, I need to read a little bit more. I haven't really read this. I've flipped through it, as the PDF, and then, like I said, I wanted to do the live tonight just because I didn't get a video. I was good last week. I got 4 videos out last week, uh, so very excited about that. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I had a blast chatting with everybody. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Uh, Brian, thank you so much. You got a package coming in the mail. I think I sent you a text earlier with the tracking. You're going to have to do a little fiddly work with it, a little green stuff. But um, I didn't have a need for two of them, so I sent you the other one. So I hope you enjoy it, and I think it'll work wonderful in your trench crusade. I think it'll fit in perfectly for that. So anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe, spread it, send the link to your friends. Support the channel. You can support me on Ko-Fi. You can support me on Patreon. I'm on Discord. There'll be links in the doobly-doo. This will be live in a couple of minutes because YouTube is already hosting it. So as always, peace and hair grease. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Everyone have a good night, and I will catch you in the next one.